Why does this elderly couple kidnap you and lock you in their house while you try to look for a way to escape? Well, stick around because after our car breaks down, we go and check what happened, but then we get knocked out by Granny. You wake up in an abandoned dungeon that has an Iron Maiden, which is disturbing. And going upstairs, you see the brand new machination that they set up for you. Apparently, the door is now electrified, has a keypad, is boarded up with wooden planks, and has a cage around it. Exploring the house and ignoring the front door, this house seems like a pretty normal place. Family pictures, clean bathrooms, and a cozy living room. They also have a pet human spider hybrid, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If you wander a bit too much, you can get jump scared by Granny's husband, Grandpa. Grandpa looks like the hillbilly from Swamp Attack if you remember that game. But in this game, Grandpa has no hair, has suspicious stains on his shirt, is holding a wrench, and is clearly related to Herobrine. Grandpa is also a lot more lazy compared to Granny as he takes frequent naps around the house. He also has bad hearing, unlike Granny who has perfect hearing, as you all know. After exploring, you find a bunker that has a crank in it, and turning that crank stops the water from flowing in a makeshift moat. Why is there a giant moat randomly in this house? I don't know. Crossing it, you find a cage holding the child of Slenderina. Yeah, Slenderina has a child in this game. He kind of looks like Gollum, not gonna lie. But anyways, the child is not peaceful and will attack you if you see it, so you have to find another way to get around it. The more clever of you may think to give the child some meat to chew on while you pass by secretly. The more American version of you sees that the child is being aggressive and as such, promptly blasts it with a shotgun. I would not do that though, because if you do that, then the ghost of Slenderina appears and she screams her head off, alerting Grandpa and Granny, and they're now pissed at you for killing their great-grandchild. And if they catch you enough times and you run out of days, then they slime you out in a variety of ways. The first is by putting you in that Iron Maiden from earlier. The other one is being fed to a Kraken monster that is under the house that is literally bred to eat human beings. They can also fry you. And lastly, you get eaten by guess who? The child you kind of slimed out earlier. And you can avoid being eaten by a mutant baby and fed to a giant kraken if you subscribe. Anyways, we need to go to the security room, but the security room is locked and it requires a key that's wrapped around Grandpa's neck. While knocking out Grandpa and snatching the key from his neck, you go into the security room and you realize that Granny and Grandpa have been watching you this entire time. And going up the ladder, you find something even weirder. Shooting a button with the shotgun from earlier, you open up a chained box and find a body inside. The guy is Nosferatu, who is Slenderina's husband, or baby daddy, I think, I don't know. If you remember from the previous video, we saw Angelina, Granny's daughter, chained up in the similar way that Nosferatu is. So what's going on with this family just locking each other up like this? Well, the reason that Slenderina's husband there is unknown, but the main theory is that Nosferatu abused Slenderina and her child. I don't know what Angelina thought she was doing getting in a relationship with a person that looks like this, but alright, man. So after that, Granny and Grandpa get furious, so they kidnap Nosferatu and lock him in the box, leaving him to rot. This ties into how you were kidnapped a bit, because Granny and Grandpa think that you also hurt women, so they kidnapped you in revenge. And considering what you did to that child earlier, I mean... So does this make Granny and Grandpa some feminist icons? Nah, I think they just did it for the love of the game and they're using that as an excuse to justify their actions. Anyways, if you collect scattered paintings of Grandpa, a door opens up. After doing some glorified duck hunt missions and not missing every shot like I did, you find out that you're on the roof, and get this. Granny and Grandpa must be rich as hell because they have a freaking helicopter on there. This is where we can get into the different ways to escape the house. The first and coolest way is by finding all the necessary parts and then flying the helicopter yourself to safety. But let's say you're a bit lazy and you think you can fly a helicopter all on your own without any skill or without any materials. Well, you crash the helicopter and die, so maybe that'll teach you. Next is by boat and avoiding whatever demon lurks in that water. And lastly, you escape by somehow getting past Granny and Grandpa's security door. There is no jump scare this time, so you don't even have to worry. Fast forward a few days and you do something unthinkable. Instead of being kidnapped, you walk willingly into the madhouse. This place looks completely different and more akin to a haunted mansion than any normal house I know. The giant house has a literal drawbridge and a moat of what I can only assume is acid, and also has an alligator just chilling in there. So why on earth did you come here? After walking onto the porch, you get no-scoped by Grandpa, who is now wielding a shotgun. Waking up, you're in yet another dungeon. Crazy, I know. But Grandpa must be slacking because he left the key to escape the dungeon in the literal same cell that you're in. Exploring the house, you find out that the house is more similar to Hello's neighbor's house than the house in the first game. Especially if you enter this hole over here that has something crazy hidden inside. Not much is different from Granny in this game, but Grandpa has a literal shotgun and he can no-scope you if you don't move quick enough. But thankfully in this game his aim is pretty trash. Unless you're playing on night mode difficulty, where I swear his aim is as good as a Minecraft skeleton. Slenderina is also in this game, and she can jump scare you randomly if you're not paying attention. But just like before, if you give Slenderina her teddy bear, she'll leave behind a key that'll help you escape the place. If you fail to escape, then Granny and Grandpa slime you in a variety of ways. The first, and my favorite because of how goofy it is when Grandpa and Granny concoct this Looney Tunes-ass plan where they place a stick of dynamite in a car that you're trapped in. But the plan backfires and they both die from the explosion anyways. The next is where you're on top of the roof and then Grandpa shoots you and then you fall into the jaws of an alligator. There is one more death, but we'll get to that soon. While entering the hole from earlier, we see a box that requires a coin, and putting a coin inside gives us a ticket. A ticket for what, you may be asking? Well, if you thought having a car in the first game and a helicopter in the second game was crazy, try having a train underneath in the third game. There is also a robot downstairs that will make a loud beeping sound if you don't give him a ticket. And you know the drill, loud noises usually equals. How Granny and Grandpa have any, and I mean any of this, is unknown. But now we can get into the multiple endings, one of which being the train ending, where you escape by taking a train after getting all the necessary materials for it. However, Granny and Grandpa will run you over with the train if you fail to escape in time. And lastly is the front gate, where you lower the drawbridge and finally escape this place. So what is wrong with this family? Why do Granny and Grandpa feel the need to kidnap you all the time? Well, unlike some other horror game villains, I believe Granny and Grandpa are just pure evil. They may say that they only kidnap and punish bad people, but I think that's just a lie. Granny and Grandpa commit the crimes that they do, not because they're trying to look for justice or to avenge their granddaughter, but because they just love the hunt. As seen when Granny can literally speed blitz you at the end of the first game, meaning that the entire chase was pointless and she could have gotten you whenever she wanted to. Or when Grandpa shoots you at the beginning of the last game for seemingly no reason. The reason you came to this house this time is because you're not really playing the same protagonist from earlier if you look at the character models, but a random person who probably just came looking for help because their car may have broke down. But before you can even do anything, Grandpa shoots you and then knocks you out and then drags you to a dungeon without even knowing what your crimes are. I believe they also passed this evilness onto their daughter Angelina, which is why she poisoned her entire family that one random day. Angelina, in my eyes, is the true victim of all of this. Victim of not only her mom, but this entire family that she surrounds herself with that hurts her. Anyways, Merry Christmas. This video being longer than 2 minutes is my Christmas gift to you guys. And watch any of these videos if you're still bored. Bye, and ho ho ho.